This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14. And the Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Aki, and pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last sections of time. All right? We're going to get into it about the Shabbat. All right? How do you keep the Shabbat? What determines the Shabbat? All right? What is the new moon? Lord willing, this message be edifying. Let's get straight into it. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 14. And Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." That's right, man. Signs, seasons, days, and years, man. All right, determining the times. All right, determining how the new moon determines the Shabbat. All right, and is a sign for, like the latter end says, and let them be for signs, for seasons, and for days and years, man. All right, was ultimately made for what? Our observance, to observe these things, observe the moon to determine the signs and the times, and keeping the high holy days, man, which is part of the commandments. But it says, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. That's right, man. Because the earth is lit up by what? The sun and the moon. The moon during the nighttime, the sun during the daytime, which we're going to get into. It says, and Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and that greater light is going into the sun, man. All right, because the sun rules the day. All right, like rising in the east, setting in the west, man. All right, but it says, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the Elohim, well, Salakia, verse 16. And the Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also, man. The lesser light going into the moon. All right, and you have different phases in the moon, all right, leading up to that new moon, all right, which is going into month, and we're going to prove that, man, all right, on how to keep the Shabbat. But let's go and get this precept real quick, just showing you what the Shabbat, all right, or who the Shabbat was given unto to keep, all right. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 31, verse 16, and it reads, "Wherefore the children of Israel," I'm going to start at 15, it says, 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Shabbat of rest. And when you go back into that Genesis, the first chapter, on the 7th day, going into that 7,000 year, was that rest period, man, all right? But it says 6 days may work be done, but in the 7th is the Shabbat of rest, right? Going into what? 7 being complete, man, all right? It says, "Holy to the Lord, whosoever doth any work in the Shabbat day, he shall surely be put to death." But it says, verse 16, "Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Shabbat, to observe the Shabbat through their generations for a perpetual covenant." And that's how we know, all right, that we're of Israel, that we're keeping the high holy days, that we're worshiping the Most High, and we're on pace to get out of this kingdom, man. Because we're doing this in decent order. And because we're rehearsing the righteous acts until Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai comes, man. All right, ultimately, we know that we're going to be keeping the Shabbat perfectly in the kingdom, man. But right now, to the best of our ability, with the Spirit of the Lord has given us, man, we're keeping the high holy days and the Shabbats, man, for the signs of the times. And when you go into the society, they run off of what? Basically, get into it real quick. A Gregorian calendar, man. All right? Gregorian calendar, we got a little information on it. But before we bring out this information, I want to bring out this precept real quick, just showing you how Esau, all right, in modern day times, right here in America, okay, you have something that's called what? Daylight savings times, all right, where the clock jumps back either an hour ahead or an hour back, man. Going into Esau doing this, man. This devil, man, he wants to upset prophecy. He wants to put the charagma inside of you. He wants to determine the signs and the times. That's what Esau wants, man. He wants to determine the signs and the times, man. All right, it's Daniel 7:25. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High. We know that blasphemous spirit that is within Esau, man. The scriptures tell you that his soul which is uplifted is not right in him, man. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, it says, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Because when you come with all this spring forward, daylight saving times, that's totally against scriptures, man. All right, we go upon the new moon, all right, to determine our Shabbat, man. But Esau goes off a Gregorian calendar. We're going to get into that. But it says, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. That's right, man. Not only does he think to change times concerning the months, all right, because contrary to popular belief, the calendar follows the moon, man. The moon doesn't follow the calendar. Esau wants the moon to follow the calendar, man. That's why he thinks to change these times and these laws, man. All right? He thinks to do these things because what? The earth was given into his hands, so therefore he's using it maliciously. He's using his power negligently, but he's going to have a lot to pay for to the Most High. But it says, and thinks to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. We're coming into that latter end of that, man. We're at the last milliseconds of this place, man. And we see it now because you got more Israelites waking up. All right, you got more Israelites worshiping the high holy days, keeping the high holy days. All right, keeping the Shabbat. That's a tall tale sign that we're about to get out of this place, man. Point blank, period. And we use the new moon, all right, for what? Different feasts. And you even have a feast, all right, in the scriptures as dedicated to the new moon, man. Get it real quick. It's Leviticus chapter 23, verse 20. That's how significant keeping these high holy days are, man. All right. It's Leviticus 23:23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, in the first day of the month, keep that word month in mind, all right, shall ye have a Shabbat, a memorial of blowing of the trumpets and holy convocations. So the new moon is used for a high holy day as well, man. The memorial blowing of the trumpets, man. All right. So we keep these high holy days. We keep the Shabbat in observance of the times of the Most High, and ultimately because it's a commandment, man. All right. Let's get that Gregorian calendar and keep that word month in mind, man. This Gregorian calendar, it says Gregorian calendar, also called New Style calendar, solar dating system now in general use. Right, man, this is a new thing in the earth, man. All right. Esau thinks to change times and laws, man, of the Most High. All right. He's against the Most High and the system that the Most High set up in place through the Spirit, through the men of the Lord. It told you in Daniel 7:25, he shall wear out the saints. We're sick of this, man. We're sick of this guy trying to alter this reality, man. And ultimately, he's going to do that with his effort towards this NWO, the Georgia Guidestones, all right? This charagma, man. A little bit more, it says, by the Julian reckoning, the solar year comprised 365 and 1/4 days. And then you even got this BS called a leap year, man, what Esau does, man. He's just totally off, man, trying to shorten the days, trying to lengthen the time, back and forth. Nah, man, the Most High said he's going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. You have nothing to do with that, Esau. It says, of a leap day, every 4 years was intended to maintain correspondence between the calendars and the seasons, right? Maintain correspondence between them based upon what? Not our new moons, not our Shabbats, not our memorial, the blowing of the trumpets, based upon this Americanized, westernized society, man. It says a slight inaccuracy in the measurement, right, man? Because we know Esau's calculations are inaccurate. We know his hypotheses and theories are inaccurate, man. All right, his wine is inaccurate, man. Okay, it defiles you and destroys you, and so what this society does. This Gregorian calendar is number BS, man. It says a slight inaccuracy in the measurement. The solar year comprising more precisely 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, caused the calendar dates of the seasons to regress almost 1 day per century. Yeah, man. 1 day per century, he's trying to shorten these times, man. All right? Oh, okay, well, I'm in power, I'm in rulership. Let me set this system up in place so every century now we're going back a day. Yeah, you trying to put yourself in that position of where your leadership, your rulership never ends, but nah, man, you going for a bitter end, Esau. All right, let's get it. Let's go back to the scriptures, man. All right, because the Most High says this about the. Let me get it in Jeremiah. Yeah, man, the Most High said this, man. This is how much Israel is of importance, man. Ordinance. Let's see. I think that's the one I'm looking for. Right. It's Jeremiah 31. I'm going to start at 35. It says, thus said the Lord. And this is going to back up, piggyback that, just land back on that, not piggyback, land back on that Genesis 1 and 14, man. It's Jeremiah 31 and 35. It says, thus said the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. So it just broke it down to you what that light by day was and what that lesser light, that light by night was, man. It says, which divided the sea when the waves thereof roar, the Lord of hosts is his name. If those ordinances, meaning what? The sun and the moon, the stars, all right, depart from before me, said the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. So if the sun and the moon depart from the Lord, then the nation of Israel will cease forever, all right? In the eyes of the Most High, we know that's not going to happen, man, because the sun and the moon, all right, the new moon, which we're going to go into that month, all right, is used for what? The keeping of the Shabbat, keeping the high holy days, signs, seasons, feast, man, memorial, man, onto the Most High. So why would those things depart from the Most High, man, when they're used for Israel to what? Observe and keep the commandments, man. Like this is going to say, all right? We're going to get that real quick, man, because this is part of the commandments, keeping the Shabbat. This is Sirach 43. And I'm going to start at 5. It says, great is the Lord that made it, and at his commandment run it hastily. Right, man, because keeping the Shabbat is what? Part of the commandments. The most scriptures that most people know are basically the 10 commandments, and that's dead right in there, man. All right, even though there's 613 law, statute, commandments. All right, one of the main ones that's popularized is what? The 10, which explicitly states in it what? Honor the Shabbat day and keep it holy, man. All right? Point blank period. Keep it set apart. Like the nation of Israel set apart. It says, Sirach 43 and 6, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. That's right, man. To serve in a season for a declaration of times. Declaring the high holy days, declaring the Shabbat, declaring feasts, declaring basically memorials, man, high holy days, all right, the Passat, the Passover, all right, Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Day of Atonement, Hanukkah, man, like it said, the memorial blowing of trumpets, man, all right, Feast of Tabernacles. But it says, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. And when you go into, I believe it's like 8 phases, let's get it real quick. Just show an example real quick, man. Phases of the moon, let's see. Yeah, man. Real quick. Yeah, man, 8. And here's how it goes. Here you go. Go from what? The new moon you have here on the left. And goes all the way around. Waxing crescent, first quarter. Waxing gibbous, full moon. All right, what you have around like the latter end of the month, like the back end of the month, you would say. It says waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent. Then back to the new moon, man. Point blank period, man. Decreases in its perfection. All right? But it says, from the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. Right, all the way back to that new moon. It says the month, telling you what the name moon means, man. It means month. And we're going to get that as well. It says the month is called after her name. Increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, right, man? Because there's armies above, man. All right, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua and the holy angels, that's the armies above. And the moon and the sun and stars, they're used as instruments of the armies above, man. All right, things that we can't comprehend is going on in the heavens right now, but we're going to have full understanding with them in the kingdom, man. But for right now, we'll rehearse the righteous acts and keep the high holy days, man. Keep the Shabbat, keep the new moons, man. All right, it says the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. I'm going to just read to verse 10. At the commandment of the Holy One, they will stand in order and never faint in their watches. That's right, man. At the commandment of the Holy One. All right. So it was commanded that the moon and the sun do certain things, ordinances. And the moon in particular do what? Show for that sign forth to Shabbat, the high holy days, the feast. All right. Solemn assemblies, man. That's what it's used for. And it's commanded to do these things and for us to observe them by the Lord, man. Point blank, period. All right. Get a quick. That's the book of Isaiah. Real quick. Let's get that word moon real quick. Etymology online. Month. Salakia. Moon meaning month. It says month. 1/12 part of a year. One of the 12 parts in which the calendar year is arbitrarily divided. It's going to get into. Let's go down a little bit. It says month. Which is related to Minon, moon, see moon, all right? It says originally the month was the interval between one new moon and the next. That's right, man. And it's scriptural, all right? From one new moon into the next, man. We keep what? The Shabbat, all right? You have several Shabbats leading up into the next moon, man. Next new moon, all right? Let's see where we at. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 66, verse 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon, right, one new month to another, and from one Shabbat to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, said the Lord. That's right, man. We're commanded to do this. Worship the Lord. What? Do no work. Rest on that 7th day, man. That complete day, according to what? Not just Saturday Shabbat, Sunday Shabbat. Nah, man. It's according to the moon, the new moon, man. That's what the Shabbat is used for, man. All right? And that's what it's used according to, man. Lord willing, this message has been edifying. I'm going to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Harakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well and are worthy of the double honors. Peace and blessings to you, Akim, pushing out this truth across the four corners during these last 6 of time. Kwame Yashala.